Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another cast by myself. I ate Skittles for this particular tournament. The tournament in question is Last Player Standing, put on by lastplayerstanding.com. This is their second StarCraft 2 Open tournament for Diamond to Grandmaster level games. So far, what we've been casting, this is just the first day, best of one, and the ones that we've gotten down so far have been a lot of fun and been very interesting games and good to watch. So, hopefully they continue it in this pattern. Let's pop up that production tab, nameplate. Love that little thing. Alrighty. So our current players in the bottom right spawning on this particular map, which is GSL Crevasse. In the bottom right corner, we have a monkey as our orange Protoss. I didn't know monkeys could play StarCraft, so hopefully this is just a pseudonym. And in the top right, we have Tenryu RH. Okay. That is impronounceable. But he is our green Zerg. And you know, the Protoss buddy here, a monkey. I scouted him out right quick, but there really isn't much to scout on this map of Zerg. What is Zerg gonna do when he has a perfectly safe expansion to take? Protoss appears to be going for a Forge Fast Expand, as he's already dropped his Forge right at the frontier, starting to wall off this small little gap. I wonder if this can be covered by one force field. It looks approximately single ramp size, but it's hard to tell. Because it's just hard to compare with these rocks here, you know, it just throws off your whole frame of reference. Anyhow, they will be spawning in the close, quotation marks, positions. I'm surprised he didn't go for hatch first. He went for pool first. Not grabbing this gas, and not grabbing that hatch yet. Protoss, goes the Nexus right now. Oh! Actually going down to this natural first, and then saving this one for his third. You know, I've actually seen that done before, once or twice, but it's not common, really. And expanding on 18 on this map isn't very common, because, I mean, why wait? But, you know, I'm sure he has very good reasons for it, because he knows this game much better than I do, or could possibly pretend to, so I'll just kind of trust Tenryu to be a much better Zerg than I am in every way, rather. Protoss expansion's about half done now. Got just not actually building any probes right now. Building a gateway. And he's got a lot of minerals. So dropping another gateway. And a photon cannon. But he's still not building any probes. So his there's the probes. Okay. Not a big deal, they just got a little bit delayed there. Chronoing out some more probes now to make up for the lost time. Perfectly understandable. Happens to everybody, apparently. Even these guys. And Tenryu's hatch is just now popped, so it means this Nexus is just now finished as well. Both players got a probe here, waiting to drop a proxy pylon, I would assume. It's difficult to truly predict, but oh, no, not going back in. No, maybe, no. You're gonna run into Zerglings. And it looks like these Zerglings might actually hit it as is. Yep. Zerglings going to go and take out this probe with a vengeance. Now let's talk about the map for a second. This is GSL Crevasse, which is an absolutely massive map. You're safe for your first, your second, and quite possibly your third base plays for quite some time, simply because they're so close together and it's such a long way to your enemy base. Your fourth is slightly less defendable, as it's just got so many entrances, but at the same time it's still fairly compacted into this general area around here, this top right corner if you look at the minimap. You can do all your stuff in this base, so typically Zergs love this map, and almost every race will fast expand on the map regardless of what they're doing. They will fast expand because, well, why not? Everybody likes minerals. We're seeing that Zerg already start to spread creep over to his natural over here. And a Stargate. Looks we saw one gateway. Stargate. I could have sworn I saw a second gateway go down originally, but evidently not. Don't know what I'm thinking about. Chronoing out that warp gate tech, and this Stargate's very interesting to me. It looks like it's far enough back, especially with this photon cannon here, to deny any scouting from the front. And that could actually be playing mind games with the and a robo facility. But he is on 2 base. Why not Got a little gas steal going on here. Didn't notice that before, but I think the reasoning for putting these buildings right here is because if the Zerg were to float an Overlord inside in any corner of the base, he'd come in here, or he'd come in over here, or, you know, looking for hidden buildings, whereas here comes an Overlord right now, and it looks like he's going to actually spot this, where he has the Void Ray already on the way. The question is how soon. It will be soon enough. I still find this very interesting building placement, but we'll see what comes out of our Zerg player. What does he see? What does he see? What does he see? And he spots the Stargate, and the Void Ray is just visible in there right now. So he knows exactly what is coming his way, and he's probably spotted this Robo facility as well. And what is the Zerg's reaction? Nothing as of yet. Then again, all that's coming out is a single Phoenix. Can snipe a couple Overlords, that's about it. So the Zerg can't really blame him for not being too worried about that. And, you know, I could have sworn I saw a Void Ray getting produced. Because I did, and it's already on the way. Okay, I didn't think I was seeing things, okay. Single Void Ray versus single Queen, the Void Ray will win. However, it will appear that Spore Crawlers are popping up all over the place. And this Void Ray is going to have a heck of a time taking out anything around here, because there is a Spore Crawler right here, and another one right here. So he can burrow this one and run him around. If the Void Ray goes around to avoid it, he's going to run to the other Spore Crawler. A fantastic turnout. And this Void Ray is actually sitting within range, actually now taking out the Phoenix of the Spore Crawler. So this Queen is probably going to go down. This Queen is going to go down. But that looks like that is about all the damage she's going to be able to do on this particular expansion over here right now. Repositioning both these Spore Crawlers to prevent any more poking and prodding by this Void Ray. And it looks like he's just going to go home, recharge his shields, you know. 2 Phoenixes all out here on the way. We're seeing a Robo Bay go down. Still only on 2 base though. So it's interesting to go down both tech trees when you're still only on 2 base. Looking at the unit, the supply count is just, it's fairly close. But looking at the unit counting station, 72 drones to 53 probes. The Zerg does have the advantage right now in that count, and +1 is just finishing for the melee attacks. Let's go back to the production tab for now. And in come the Void Ray and 2 Phoenixes. Poor Overlord. He was just, you know, trying to go around, creeping about, doing his stuff. Seeing the Queen move forward, and the Spore Crawler also reposition. Going to lose a few Overlords here, but that's okay, because he can just make more. Hydralisk then on the way. And that's the Infestation Pit, which is also on the way, might add. But the Hydralisk then just about finished. And that will basically limit the usefulness, not uselessness, of these 3 particular air units. We're seeing, what do they call it? Pathogen glands, essentially the most essential ingredient of every infester, as well as a macro hatch, and many other things. Hydralisks, macro hatch, spine crawler, roaches, +1 distance, roach speed, Hydralisk range, the 4th base, as well as the macro hatch. You know, just about everything. The Zerg is just macroing, powering up, you know, general idea. As well, he's also adding to his army supply, so it's not full powering. The Protoss feels comfortable enough to push out and take his expansion. He does have a Colossus on the field, and just about is getting closer to getting that 9 upgrade. Cannoning up a little bit here, and the Speed Overlord is going to come scout all this out, and he saw that Colossus. So now he knows exactly what's on the way. We're seeing, and this appears to have seen this army and its composition. So we're seeing just a few gather up here. He's probably going to push forward a little bit more when he has a few more Colossus. Many people like to move out a little bit when they have 2 Colossus. However, with an army this size, you're going to need more than 2 just to deal with it, as long as he has the proper roach placement. Which, given this league, he will. Some infestors to throw into the mix. Fungal growths are just fantastic, and I don't believe he has it researched, but I'm personally a fan of using Neural Parasite on the big guys. Melee attacks level 2 coming out rather than the armor or missile attacks, which is very strange in my opinion, but he may be going Spire coming out. He may be going Broodlord, and that is why he's getting the melee attacks, simply for those Broodlings, and they're super effective against pretty much everything that Protoss will throw at you except for Phoenixes, which are already in the field. But anyhow, these would benefit more from the level 2 ranged, but there's no rush, really, I guess. Because the Protoss, he had a Forge, right here, right off the bat. He didn't get any upgrades yet. Not one. Everything is just sitting around here. Zerglings, roaches, hydras, infestors. Why not? Let's build everything. Because units are good. And not very few drones on this expansion. However, the reason being he doesn't require many. Spire is another 30 seconds away from finishing. It's getting to be a very large army. And he's got Overlord's pooping creep on his creep because, well, why not? We like creep. A lot of creep. Let's build more. Another Void Ray on the way, and finally starting that +1 attack. I also have a Twilight Council, 4 gateways, Void Ray. He seems to be transitioning in, or Protoss, anyway, seems to be transitioning into a lot more gateway-focused build, rather than, he still only has the 1 Stargate, and he seems to be going with the Protoss Death Ball plus a couple Void Rays. Neuroparasite on the way. Love to see that upgrade. Taking actually this 5th base now. Interesting choice for the placement of this 5th base. I guess because it's closer to the creep that he chooses to take it, because from here he can run his units over here and defend, rather than having it hid way up here and a safer base in general. Seeing some Corruptors come onto the field, very reasonable to see. Hydralisks are great against Void Rays, but you know, Corruptors are better. Hive on route, so right up here we may soon be seeing a Greater Spire and some Broodlords on the field. Another Evo Chamber on the way. +2 melee attacks just about finished, and Ground Carapace queued up. And what else are we seeing? 3 Spine Crawlers go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th one? There's a 5th one on around here somewhere. Is that it? Yep. Whole bunch of those. Warp Prism Speed, I think? I believe. Where's that Robo facility? Or maybe it's Observer Speed. No, it is Warp Prism Speed. It's very interesting because I don't think there's a Warp Prism on the field, is there? There is! I completely missed it. Where is it? What's going down here? That's a probe. Over here, that's a Zealot. Up here, that's a Zealot. There's the Warp Prism. Empty, but perfectly ready to warp things in. The Dark Shrine is about halfway done. Dark Shrines take forever to build, just in case you're curious. You better have forever, really, to wait for a Dark Shrine, if you're too interested. I'm going to try to keep track of this Observer, or this Warp Prism. Warping in behind the 5th base here. No drones here to kill yet, so I'm interested to see what he actually plans to do, if he's going to warp in a bunch of Stalkers and try to take out this base entirely, and how long it will take the Zerg to transfer at least some of his army. That move all of them. Oh, just the Zerglings, okay. Throwing down a bunch of Zerglings, and there goes Warp Prism again. I'm going to try to keep up to it. And Missile Attacks level 2, Ground Carapace level 2 on the way. Ground Weapons level 2 also on the way. I wonder why he's bringing the Corruptors. And warping in... Oh! This could actually take out that 5th base rather quickly. Our Zerg player seems to be omniscient. Just knows it. Knows those Zealots are there. And hey, let's go bother them. No, let's not, because we're just Zerglings and Zealots, I hear, don't get along all that well, despite their names starting with the same letter. Anyhow, we're seeing a Corruptor, Roach, Hydra, Infestor mix. Other than the Infestors, fairly standard build, actually. And let's see how these fungals come apart. That's what I'm expecting to see anyhow. Oh, Neural Parasite on the Colossus and the Void Ray, it would appear. Fungals on everything else. Brutal. Proper Infestor Micro seems to have just brutalized this army, although he did lose quite a few Hydralisks, if I'm not mistaken. Which he doesn't seem to be rebuilding, so I don't think he's all too worried about them. Pushing in with these Roaches, these Infestors, and these few Hydralisks, and the rest of these Corruptors. Definitely causing some huge damage to Protoss opponents. 20 odd Roaches. Oh, okay. It's going to be an absolute flood of Roaches coming in here, busting up everything that the Protoss owns and loves and holds dear. The Dark Shrine is finished, so he appears to be morphing in quite a few Dark Templars. More and more, actually. I guess our Protoss has no... Our Terran... Our Zerg... Wow, I can get every race wrong in a sentence. That is exceptional. 2 Observers on the Overseers. I am on a roll. I just need to take a deep breath and get over my caster mishaps. Alright, 4 more Roaches. Another Queen. 2 more Spine Crawlers. Whole bunch of Roaches here. He likes Roaches. And why not? Meanwhile, the Protoss managed to push over here with these Zealots and take out the 4th base of the Zerg. Zerg still appears to be ahead overall. Units killed. Yep. That is interesting. But it's more about the resources lost, which actually the Protoss is losing, despite the Zerg being poorly controlled. That army supply and worker supply, about even on the worker supply, but that army supply is just so badly in favor of the Zerg right now. Triple the army supply almost. Just brutal. These roaches, these infestors are probably going to push in now and severely punish this third base. We're seeing Dark Templars, huge part of this mix. Missile level 3, flower attacks level 1, ground carapace, everything. 2 broodlords on the way. And in amongst all these, if you can fungal those DT, it would be beautiful. He doesn't appear to though, but here come the Overseers. DTs die horribly. And the Protoss just doesn't... He has a ton of minerals, not enough gas to support it. I would say he just should warp in as many Zealots as he can to save him, but he's going to lose all these probes here, and this will probably force a GG, as, you know, he has nothing to combat these 5 Broodlords, all these roaches, these infestors, G. Just G. Given the manners of the rest of this tournament, I'm going to assume that he actually meant to say GG, and that was just a typo. Not that he just meant to say G, because that is rather BM, and that's never fun. So, there you have it. I don't have all that much to say. It was an excellent macro game. Both did good play. However, the Protoss definitely did better on the harassment area, but the Zerg, he let the Zerg expand earlier on, and simply got out macroed. Larger army size, some excellent fungal growth, as well as neural parasite micro on the engagements, and that essentially was what came down to, as well as being ahead in these upgrades. The Zerg was right on top of his upgrades. It was very impressive. Anyhow, quite enjoyed casting this game for you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you next time.